Final hour overdrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score, live from the RBC Canadian Open. Bryan Hayes, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan. Best bets later in the hour. Marty Turco later in the hour. Game 4, Stars Oilers in Edmonton. Our buddy Mackenzie Hughes coming up here in a few moments. We didn't mention Kreider grabbing Tkachuk's mouth guard last night.
Tossing
it into the stands. What's the protocol there? Like,
did he get it back?
Well, I was going to ask you that.
I saw him do it, but I was like,
does a trainer go up and try to retrieve that? You don't want to put that back in your yap.
Did you hear him talk about it, though? He actually said he didn't throw it into the crowd, so it went on the ice. He goes, I just sprayed it down and used it.
Oh, it didn't make it to the crowd?
No, it didn't make it into the crowd.
Oh, I didn't hear him post-game say that. Okay.
No, I think it was today's media, because I watched Tkachuk, and he said, I chirped Kreider and said that was the best play you made all night. Mm. And so... And media member said, like, has it been contentious out there? And he goes, listen, both sides are getting greasy a little bit. That's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
But he tossed it, and apparently, like, it didn't make it. It hit the glass and dropped on, so he only has one, he said, I only have one mouth guard.
That surprises me. Now, he never has it in his mouth anyway.
Yeah, it's a chew toy.
So it's not even, it doesn't do anything. He gets hit, it falls. I saw a mouthpiece on the air, or a mouth guard on the ice last night. I assumed it was Tkachuk's.
If yours went in the crowd and Rick and Daryl got a hold of it, are you using it again?
That thing's... No, you're gassing. It's gas. You light it on fire, and you make sure that thing is destroyed.
Yeah.
You can't have that. You can't have someone else possibly testing it out.
Or doing whatever they would do with 100 drinks in them.
You can't. Although, I could see someone boost up, grabbing it and putting it in their mouth.
Yes, 100%.
Which is way more disgusting.
Remember Adam Party got his helmet knocked in and that booze bag put it on his head?
That guy was
a
so hammered in Chicago.
So
blackout, tattooed, and they asked him to leave, and he was flabbergasted as to why they would ask him to leave.
And that guy looked like he was an upstanding citizen, like he had a good job and stuff, and he just looked like he was having a great time, and he just was like, watch this.
Yeah.
He was so drunk, he was cross-eyed. Like he was staring at a fly on his nose.
He had no idea what was going on.
He was so buckled.
Yeah, I mean, at least with hockey, like you're behind the glass. You don't know if people are boosted up. You know, it's loud. Like with golf, you could.
Yeah.
Like you could be, teeing up here at the rink or wherever it's going to be. Waste Management, famous for it, where you just know it. Like if you're a pro and you're stepping up, you're putting the peg in the ground. You're like, this guy 5 feet from me is absolutely tattooed.
Yeah.
Like he could sneeze, loud. He could fart, he could do anything. Like you have no idea what guys are going to do. I'm shocked that people don't do more things.
I am as well. Although maybe Mac can give us some answers on that. I bet you he's seen a lot. He's been on tour for a long time.
Probably a lot. Guys chirping. There's a around the green guy.
The green guy giving suggestions.
Advice.
I wouldn't have hit that club.
Yeah.
Thanks, around the green guy. All right, well, this is like a home spot for Mackenzie Hughes, right? It's a home game. You don't get that much on tour.
I played here a month ago, and on the range, gave Mac a hug, gave him a bro hug. And
you saw Mackenzie Hughes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, look at
He'll be dialed in.
Well, here he is, good Canadian boy, back home up here in Hamilton. Here's Mackenzie Hughes. What's up, Mac? How's it feeling being back up here in Hamilton?
What's up, boys? It feels good to be back. It's been, I guess, 5 years since we were back here in 19, and different golf course this year, but still the same in a lot of ways. And for me, being from Dundas, just down the road, this one feels more like home than all the others.
What's the key out here, Mac? Everyone's talking about the renos and how it's a little different. Is it like, if you were going to describe the guy that's going to win out here, is that it doesn't seem like a bomber's course, but any course could be if you bomb it straight. So what's it going to take?
I mean, I think this week you're going to have to putt the ball really well. I mean, I think the scores this week are going to be quite low, and so you're going to have to make a bunch of putts. And there's 2 par 5s. They give you a chance on 4 and 17, but 17's been lengthened a little bit, so it's not a guarantee like it was last time. I think, like I said, if you're going to shoot 20 under or whatever the score is going to be this week, you're going to have to putt really well. So, I mean, obviously, putting the ball in the fairway is a big premium, but putting the ball in the hole and making a few 15, 20 footers this week kind of get those rounds going.
With Mackenzie Hughes, I was in the Pro-Am with Adam Hadwin today, and he brought this up a couple times, talking about the different bunkers around the course, and he mentioned Rory, like, without being, prompted. It was just like, Rory did this, Rory did that. Is that like the nature of a guy like McIlroy, like the way he hits the ball, like that guys that just crush it? Does everyone else on tour just say, you wouldn't believe what this guy did? Like on 11, we're right here. He's taking on the tree with a 3-wood. He's hitting 3-wood off the tee here at 11. Like, do you just marvel at some of these guys, I guess McIlroy in particular, with just how far they can hit the ball?
Yeah, like you talk about this week, but I mean, even we were playing Quail Hollow 2 weeks back, and they redid the 16th hole there, for example, and the bunker used to be like 315 or 320 to carry, and now it's like 340. And the idea was that Rory couldn't carry that bunker, but it just so happened that the wind was just enough down that he could carry that bunker. And I remember there was quite a few guys in the locker room talking about how insane and ludicrous that was, that bunker was carryable, because I'd say for basically everyone in the field minus McIlroy, it was not not in the cards to carry that bunker at all. So for him to be able to carry that bunker after all that length was added, he's a bit of a different animal. So there's definitely some chatter about that, and he's, I think, upped that even more from what he was doing even a couple of years ago. I think he's as long as he's ever been. So it's pretty incredible. I mean, if you stand next to him, you just don't understand how it's possible, but it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. With Mackenzie Hughes, we had Mike Weir join us a couple of hours ago. Obviously, the President's Cup in Montreal. It's an Olympic year. Like, how unique has this year been for you, Mac, in particular, in terms of chasing, different goals that are very unique to 2024?
Yeah, I mean, they're two obviously huge ones for me. They're big, teams to be part of. But the goal, I guess, or the objective is the same. Is I need to get as high in the world rankings as possible for both those teams. So playing good golf is all that those teams require, and that's all I've been trying to focus on. So hard not to think about it. Obviously, from time to time, it creeps into your mind, and I would give. I mean, I've been posed this question too. I mean, I would rather play on a President's Cup team than the Olympic team, and if I had to make a choice, and so I've been gunning pretty hard for that team, and would kill to be on that team. So again, I just have to go out there and play good golf, and hopefully that takes care of itself.
Mac, we were talking to Weirzy and the pressure he put on himself playing in the Canadian Open. He said it just didn't matter. Won the Masters, was playing well, not playing well. He just seemed to put a lot of pressure on himself at this particular event. How is your kind of mindset? Does it feel always different where it's like, man, I just love to get this one with all the people, all the support? Is it a different feeling, and how much pressure do you put on yourself, or is it hard not to?
Yeah, I'd say it's hard not to, but I think the biggest thing you kind of have to realize when you're out there is that the people out there supporting you and rooting you on are going to love you no matter what, whether you play great or whether you don't play great. I mean, surely they'd love to cheer for a bunch of birdies, but whether it goes great or doesn't, the sun will rise the next day. And I think that just trying to keep it a bit more of a broad perspective on things. Certainly this week would be great to play amazing and to win my National Open 10 minutes from where I grew up, but that's also a big ask, and winning on the PGA Tour is hard, let alone close to where you grew up. So I think for me, I'm going to try and relish the opportunity, have fun with the crowds, try and play to those crowds a little bit, and see if we can make them pretty loud.
We're chatting with Mackenzie Hughes. We're live at the RBC Canadian Open out here at Hamilton. Right before you came on, we were talking about different fans that you find out here.
And man, there's some weird
chirping.
Ones out there.
Yeah, you see like we saw a guy come up to say hi to us. I saw him 7 hours ago drinking beers, and he's still drinking beers. Now it's the Pro-Am today; everything's all good. But like when you're walking up through a big hole and it's a big crowd, and you're there with your caddy. Do you allow yourself to people watch and just look at some people in the stands and say, what the hell has this guy been doing all day?
Occasionally. I think that, let's say like on the rink this week, I think I would be kind of locked in, certainly enjoying the atmosphere and the crowd, but also trying to kind of lock in on what I'm doing. So, it looks good. I mean, obviously, I'm just looking at it right now on the screen, and it looks awesome. I know they have done a really good job with that over the last bunch of years. I actually wish it was. This kind of sounds bad, but like less set up there. Like it needs to be a little bit more like a big crowd there, and just guys banging the boards, and they got all these chairs and tables there, which is kind of cool because you're gonna sit down for a while. But at the same time, I kind of picture it like a bit more, I don't know, informal, if you will. Like the boards are there and a bunch of people just around the boards banging. They could put a few sticks out there for the guys, just to bang some sticks on the boards maybe. But no, it's been a lot of fun what they've done. And but yeah, looking around in the crowd and trying to take it all in is kind of part of the experience this week, and seeing a lot of familiar faces. And but that's one of the great parts about being here this week is, I get to see a lot of those people I haven't seen in a long time and see that support in the crowd. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast this week. Like you said, a ton of support for yourself, all the Canadians. We can't wait for it to get started tomorrow. We'll be tracking you. We'll be rooting for you like we always do. Really appreciate it, Mac. Good luck this week, and we'll do it again down the road.
All right. Sounds good, boys. Thank you.
There he is, Mackenzie Hughes of Dundas, Ontario.
Love it.
Man, it would be nice, like another, like we just got so spoiled last year with what Nick Taylor did. Like, wouldn't it be great to see Mac or Connors coming down the stretch with a big dog like Rory on Sunday? That would be awesome.
Be incredible. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think we're all rooting for.
Not a stretch, though. They can do it.
Oh, of course.
That's
of course,
the thing.
man.
They can do it.
Yeah, man, look what he said about being a part of the President's Cup. Like, you got to put yourself in the contention to be a part of that, and you get a win here this week. That's going to go a long way.
Big time.
It's going to go a long way. And Mackenzie Hughes knows how to close. Like, that's the thing. There's Canadians, a lot of Canadians know how to close. Taylor Pendrith knows how to close now.
Yeah, it's not like in past years, like 10, 15 years ago, it was like, oh, there's a Canadian there. Maybe he'll finish top. These guys can close the deal now.
Yeah, they win tour events.
Like Nick Taylor won an event in Arizona this year.
Yeah,
the Waste Management.
Massive event.
With a good field.
Yeah.
Like he took down some big dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, Connors has won multiple times. Pendrith just won a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hadwin's been a winner.
But that's
Adam
good, though.
Svensson. Like you have a number of Canadians who know how to close, which is really significant.
But it pushes the bar up, and there's an expectation now, too. That's really what it is. It's not a throw-in, like, to your point, it's like, they're Canadian-made top 25.
Yep.
There's guys in that leaderboard. There's guys and names you expect to be there. And why wouldn't you be on home soil here?
Absolutely.
Be awesome.
As long as you keep the pressure intact, right? And that's what they all say. Like Mackenzie Hughes going to have family, friends out here. This is a home game for him.
Yeah.
Coverage of the RBC Canadian Open on TSN 1050 brought to you by Subaru. Embrace spring weather with the Subaru All-Weather Drive event. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. We'll come back with Marty Turco and Sheldon Keefe, who's been doing the rounds. He was nice enough to join us, right? We had Sheldon on yesterday, and he's been talking to a lot of media. There's one quote that he gave to the Star in particular that's kind of has people talking online.
Oh, interesting.
All right, we'll read it off. We'll get you guys to interpret that. We'll get into it. We're live at the RBC Canadian Open. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, Best Bets brought to you by FanDuel coming up. Our picks for the Open coming up. You better be ready because I know I will be ready. Marty Turco coming up here in a few moments. Sheldon Keefe obviously announced officially, I guess it was last week, as the new head coach down in New Jersey. He was doing the media rounds on Tuesday. Nice enough to come on, right? Nice enough to accept our invitation.
Caused a stir, though. Has he caused a stir?
I don't think so because I think this probably is reasonable, but naturally I've seen some Leaf fans have been sending this to me. Like, what do you make of this? Sheldon said, quote, "It was a tremendous honor to coach the Maple Leafs. There's a lot that goes into that. I've had a number of well-established coaches in the league reach out to say that I should be happy now that I get to coach in the real NHL. Toronto is quite unique. It's not the rest of the league, end quote. So now he's in the real NHL. But what I think he's saying is that the market of Toronto, what the Leafs represent, is so different than what you're about to experience in Jersey. What he's really saying is now no one's going to know who I am.
Maybe now after a morning skate, I don't have to, like, maybe after a morning skate, you just take your skates off and you get in your car and go home. The New Jersey media might be like, I don't need to talk to this guy right now.
Or maybe the team allows him to send his assistant coach out to speak, which the Leafs don't allow to happen.
Which I still think is
There
weird.
is no way. It's not a big deal, but there's no way a coach needs to speak 3 times a day, man. Like sometimes it's like after morning skate, before the game, and after. It's just enough.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I do think you can spread it around. Like, there's no reason why the head coach has to speak every time.
But some head coaches don't want the message sent. Like, there's some coaches that are like, I do not want that guy sending. Mike Babcock was like that. He's like, no one's speaking on my behalf.
That's arrogance. That's not.
Well, no
that's
kidding.
not. That isn't going. I don't want the message. It's like, I want to be the guy. I am the guy, and I'm controlling the narrative. I don't see Craig Berube. I don't know whose assistant's going to be, but I don't know if Mike Van Ryn's still there. So Mike Van Ryn and Craig Berube coached together in St. Louis. Why couldn't you have Mike Van Ryn come out after a morning skate and go, Mike, what are you guys working on in the power play? Or you're in charge of the penalty kill, or whatever Rhino's doing. Say, what are you looking at there?
I don't think it'll happen here.
No harm in that, though.
I agree with you. It used to happen here all the time.
everywhere in the NHL.
It used to happen in Toronto.
I don't know
until
why.
Shanahan got here.
I don't know why that changed.
Shanahan and Lou Lamoriello changed. That's what changed. The media used to be on the planes. There's a lot of things that used to happen, and they don't anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it. I don't even think it was Shanahan. I think it was Lou.
Lou, yeah.
But then when Lou left, and Lou's been gone for a long time, it did not revert. And Shanahan, I guess, has a belief that this is the way
I feel
teams have to operate. And it's his call. It's his team. He's allowed to do that.
But I feel like Lou was a shield for a lot of that stuff. Lou wants this. You can't like I feel like if they wanted to, and I remember this vividly, and I think Brendan Shanahan's done a really good job on a lot of things, a lot. But I remember Brendan Shanahan said, "I want to make this a safe space for players," and it wasn't a shot at the market. He just said, "I want the guys to be able to relax and play." And so all of a sudden it was like, okay, we're going to be team orientated. We're bringing in Lou Lamoriello. And there was some things where you could just literally point to Lou and go, Lou wants it that way. But it might have actually been Shanny that actually wanted it. But you put Lou out there and say, old school, he wants this and that. Only the coach speaking, only this and that. And Lou wants it that way.
I just think it would be so much different and so much better for everybody involved if they were just a little bit more upfront and honest and not hiding when it's just – I've talked about it before, and it's like, oh, so what? You get the fame, you get the money, you get the contract, and everything's good. You want to talk to the media, but when you face some adversity, you get all pissy when you got to go out there and talk to the media. And I understand that now. I was probably the same way. I was probably worse when I played. But I do understand, like, you can't just have your cake and eat it too, where it's like, when things are going great, I'm going to head out there and speak to the media. But when some adversity, I'm just going to be like, oh, what do you want to talk to me for? I don't want to go out there. And I lived it, and I did it, and it's embarrassing that you did do it because after a loss where everyone's like, I don't want to talk to these guys right now. I got nothing to say. I don't want to speak on behalf of the group. And everyone would scatter to the shower and be like, not my night tonight. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But it would be Matt Sundin every single time. But to just be upfront and honest and be like, look, what do you want to know? And just come with the heat instead of everyone being like, oh, I don't want to go out there and just
I've noticed too, guys. I don't know, and I actually wanted you to weigh in on this because, you guys are from here. You've been in those scrums. You grew up here. I feel now in the media, though, where's the line to get credentialed? There's guys that are bloggers. There's guys that are, started their own thing, and there is I find it tough for PR people to go, where's the line? You don't have a following.
Well, that's why you got NBA players saying, hey, do you listen to my podcast? Because I'm not talking to you.
That was egregious. But I have seen in scrums where it's like, okay, who's that guy? And it's
you're right. But the other side of that is newspapers are dying, and you're not covered the same way you used to be because newspapers aren't sending the same amount of people.
Yeah,
and media companies. And, there's a lot of media companies up here that aren't flying with teams, aren't going on the road.
Yeah.
So it kind of is balanced out in many ways. I understand what you're saying. It's a new world, independent world, and that's on the team and the leagues to determine who can get access and who can't. But I don't know. I mean, I think the idea of making it safe, I don't know what that – I never understood what that meant. And you're not wrong. I'm not disputing that.
I don't either.
Happened.
Do you remember that comment?
Yes, but safe from what?
I
like,
don't
who's
know.
hurting you?
I don't
no
know.
one's hurting you.
I've always wondered that the same thing. Like, what do you mean by safe?
I think they need to try the opposite. How about embrace the chaos and the craziness and the uniqueness of it all? Like, I think what is going to make this Keefe quote make people fly is like he's kind of saying, you can't win up there because it's too crazy. That's what, and there's a lot of Leaf fans that believe that. The reason that they haven't won and they can't win, not because of the players or the management or the salary cap or ownership or whatever.
Right.
Game sevens, a bad goal, refs, whatever. It's that this market's too crazy, too loud.
Right.
How could you possibly expect players to win here and compete with that?
Right.
And this is adding fuel to that fire, and people will interpret this as they choose to. I'd like to see it the other way. Embrace it and say, screw it, man. Doors wide open. Let's go. Let's talk. Let's have a blast. I'll be bigger than life personality, and I'm going to go out there and perform and win, and everyone's going to love me for it.
Yeah, I got out of that comment is, the Leafs are such a massive brand. It's like, you've come from, this, the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're a behemoth.
You're coming from this. It's like, okay, the rest of the league doesn't have that. So it's like, welcome to the rest of the league type of thing. You've been on this, not only on a stage, you've been on, a different planet when it comes to coverage.
Yes.
So welcome to what everyone else goes through. And it's, morning skate, there's a couple scribes there, you chat, and you don't need to talk before the game, or maybe you have your assignment with the color people or
Jamie, I played in Carolina. There was one guy, one beat writer named Cecil Harris.
Well, there's
I'll never forget. I went up to him. I was like, Cease, did you think that was a trip last night on that penalty? Because it was a joke. And he pulled me aside. He goes, can I speak to you over here? And he goes, don't tell anyone, but I did the game from my couch. I didn't even go. I was like, Jesus.
But that's the real NHL.
Well, no.
Like that.
I don't know.
East Coast
Like,
Hockey League.
No, that's
hey man, I
not
didn't
the
even
real.
go to the game.
That's not the real NHL. I think, but you could argue more markets are like that than the 7 in Canada, and especially the Leafs and the Habs. Let's be honest, the Habs have the same type.
Well, yeah, two languages.
Yep. Vancouver's very noisy.
Yeah, every Canadian team gets
I
covered.
think you can take that and you could twist it, but you could also, I could find reasoning behind it going, you go down to Arizona, you go into Carolina, you go into Florida, Tampa. Like, I've walked into those rooms. There's people there, but it isn't 50.
Right.
Hey, it's a passionate fan base, and there's a lot of coverage, and there's a lot of people that want to look into it, read up on it, talk about it.
Yeah.
Read what Mark Masters has to say. Read what we have. Listen to what we have to say.
It's 24 hours.
If that's not
Never
the real
change.
NHL, sorry, I don't know what is. Go play in a market where nobody gives a rat's ass. Like, try that if that's what you really want. I don't know.
And that's ultimately what happens in a lot of the U.S. markets. It's not that there aren't people that care. It's that collectively the market, there's other teams that are more popular.
Yeah.
So they get the coverage. The football team gets more coverage.
Yeah.
Where crazy stuff happens with the football team, it's bedlam.
Yeah.
The baseball team, the basketball team, where for a lot of markets in the U.S., the hockey team's the fourth team.
Fourth, or maybe fifth.
Maybe if there's a college around or whatever, they could be fifth. And, so you're going to get – you're just going to get different volume and different cover. And even if there is a salacious, crazy story, it's just not going to pick up the same way.
Yeah.
Because they're covering the football game at the same time.
I laughed one time. I was calling a Leaf game. Ray and MJ or whatever. Ray must have been over at the World Juniors or been doing the World Juniors. So I did a Leaf game, so I went down that morning. And I know Freddie Anderson through a couple people, goaltending, all of that. So I've had some conversations with Freddie. And, he's a great guy, nice guy and that. And I locked eyes with him across the room after morning skate. And I went up to talk to him. And he was kind of by himself, just kind of. And within 10 seconds of him and I just BSing about off-season and that, all of a sudden there's three people just standing there. Mm-hmm. Like 3 other, media guys.
Thinking it's a scrum.
Well, or thinking, like, I can't miss out on that. Like, And I just said to him, I'll shoot you a note, like, hope you're well type of thing, because I sensed him, like, we were just BSing about the off season and either training. I can't even remember what it was, but it wasn't like an article worthy or an interview. It was just like, how you doing? How's your training? What do you like about these pads? Like, it's just BSing. And within a few seconds, it was almost like, well, that guy's getting something. I got to get in there. And it was other scribes like sticking their, nose in there. And I felt like saying, get the hell out of here. We're just trying to talk, but you can't do that.
Can't do that. Can't operate that way.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to our PGA Tour picks for the RBC Canadian Open. That's coming up here in just a bit.
Doogie, print me a list of the odds-on favorites.
We got our best bets. I'm in on Hadwin. I'm in on my man Zach Blair. Whoever I play with, they compete and they do well. Zach Blair has a long shot. I'm sniffing that out. But it's Game 4 tonight in Edmonton. What a time to be down at Dallas, though, right? Like the Mavs, although they lost, but the Mavs they're going to the finals. So you can have the Mavs going there. There's a good chance the Stars. They're up 2-1 in the series. To chat about it, we're joined now by longtime NHLer, longtime Dallas Star goaltender, as well as a special assistant to the president down with the Stars. Here's Marty Turco. What's happening, Marty?
Hey. You guys are right. It's a great time to be in Texas, even as the heat is starting to come.
Mm-hmm.
Golf is abundant, like RBC. I'm jealous of you guys being there, but there's no place I'd rather be than right now watching sports in Texas.
Marty, what are you making of Ottinger? He's a stud young goaltender, and there's been a lot of talk about the offense and Hintz and Robertson and Johnston, but like that goaltender, like what's it like watching him, live every night and just getting an up close and personal view of that young kid?
Well, the number one thing that he does, obviously he's got pedigree and size and talent, but the number one thing that he does that makes him just a bona fide star for us is he gives everybody confidence. He gives the players, his coaches, me, fans. Like he's cool, he's calm, he's big, he moves great, makes saves when he needs to, and when he doesn't, which is inevitable, he's right back at it. It doesn't seem like it affects him too much. So he just has it upstairs, and it's hard as young guys to make in this league. As you guys are well aware, and this guy's done a great job to come in when he first got his chance to, an unbelievable series against the Flames, and then really give us a chance every year to make long playoff runs, and this year's no different.
So, Marty, everybody is broken down the team in Dallas up here, obviously with the matchups against Edmonton. Ottinger's been a rock star. Jamie Benn has found for me, another level of leadership and has really dug in. Sagan's looked good, but you've got some young players on that team that have really pushed through and shown, how well you've drafted and developed. Stankoven looks like he's a player. Wyatt Johnston, is it something you've focused on? You've drafted and developed so well. Has it been able to at least add to the depth of your organization, or maybe slot guys a little bit different because you have so much depth and guys that are pushing through?
Those are they're tough. Nightly basis, who's going to be in, who's going to be out, and slotting, who, what, and where. But it's also a great problem to have, and so I think we've done a great job of, having some injuries, but being so deep up front to plug and play players and have some of our older vets move around and help some of our younger guys out. And some of our younger guys like Stankoven and Wyatt Johnston in the last, year or so to come in and just add some more energy and excitement and watch Joe Pavelski play on that top line and having Wyatt stay at his house, and then Jamie Benn just kind of, figure himself out all over again and playing like a world-class player like he is. And so they are. It's an embarrassment of riches, and the credit goes to Jimmy Nill and the team for finding them. They haven't been perfect in his tenure, but they've been really good as of late. And that draft of taking Wyatt at 20 some spot overall, and then finding Logan waiting there around later, just seems to be real genius moves. But we have a secret sauce right now up front of just, adding a few pieces along the way, like Marchment, Dadnoff, and, some really cool trades but also home-growing it too. And I don't think you can have real sustained success in this league without that homegrown draftability and developing these guys. And I think we've really found our stride as an organization to fulfill all those needs. And we're going to have to continue to do that over time because of the cap and other reasons. But you just never know. And it's nice to make decisions when it comes to free agency or if you need to go pick up somebody. But if you don't, because you have it in the tank, I mean, what a benefit that is.
Marty, Pete DeBoer had a great comment yesterday or last night or just, I don't know when it was, but it was great. He just said last year in the conference finals, I think our team was hoping to win, and this year they believe they should win and can win. It was kind of an undercover comment, but I thought it meant a lot. I think it would be great for the players to hear that and everybody involved to hear that. It was kind of like just putting a stamp on it saying, we believe we're going to win. And I just love that from Pete.
Yeah, Pete's a smart guy, and smart guys still, need some seasoning too. And Pete's had that now. He's been in this league a long time and, different organizations and different levels. And, when he says that, and I think why it will matter most because the guys in that locker room, like you said, that's just a great comment and it's important or relevant because I think the guys can think that's true. And I watched that series last year. Vegas was on a mission, no argument at the end of that series, who the better team was, lost the first two in Vegas in overtime. And they could have gone either way for sure. But, when you think at the end of the series, like, okay, what do we do to beat the Vegases? And then that year, Colorado, was Stanley Cup champion. And we had to play them both this year. And so I think Pete and team and coaches have done just a great job of getting the right guys on the ice, delivering a really uniform message, and then poking the bear when you need to, but also just trusting the guys to do the job. And I think this lineup kind of speaks for itself, but you need someone with the, two hands on the reins. And Pete's been a great coach, and every coach, can't win the big one until they do. And, we think that that's going to be a great opportunity for our club, for Pete and Pavelski and Jamie Benn and, a lot of guys that's been sniffing around it a long time, and we got that leadership there with a lot of people, but it's really in that locker room starts with Pete.
We're chatting with Marty Turco. So you look at Edmonton, their backs up against the wall tonight. McDavid and Draisaitl, obviously two of the best players in the world. I think McDavid's the best player in the world. Draisaitl might be an even better playoff performer than McDavid, and that's saying something. If you're Ottinger, if you're in the room, if you're DeBoer, like what are you expecting out of those two, considering they understand how big of a night they have to have and how much they got to win tonight in Edmonton?
I think that desperation was shown in Game 3. I thought it was going to be a 10-minute push. That felt like 18 minutes, and I actually thought we were lucky to be only down 2 goals at the end of that first period. And it was part of those guys, and it was certainly a lot of Connor. And, I mean, Draisaitl, all world talent. Sometimes he gets lost, and sometimes he's emotional. But, man, these guys are such good hockey players that, you can't just get rid of them. And, you can't just check them to death. Everybody's going to be mindful on the ice, and I think they had a little bit of issues in Dallas, got lost. Saw a little more Miro Heiskanen, and that's the one thing that, we haven't talked about. We went goalie straight to forwards, but, I think our secret weapon really is our defense because they're unheralded. They made a great trade to really kick off trade deadline season, early trade with Chris Tanev, Vanessa Lindell, good shutdown guy. But it's Miro Heiskanen. That guy's got, superpowers, and as good as he is all around, like a Nick Lidstrom type, he really shows to me when we play good teams with great players like the Oilers, and when he's on the ice, he wins those battles, and he wins, the plus-minus game, and he creates frustration amongst them, and he does it with just such poise and ease that, I think that adds to our team's confidence when you think of just championship allure and that pedigree that we have. I think Miro is the one, might be our best player when it comes down to what we need this time of year. So those two guys, they're going to show up. They're going to have a hard push. I just think because we came back last game that push will be negated a little bit, and we knew it was coming. We just tried to hold, filling up holes, so to speak. But I think tonight we're going to take advantage of a few mistakes on theirs in the first period and hopefully put them on their heels a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if, these guys came out just absolutely firing at home, as good as they are, get the matchups they want, because they're just, like I said, guys that you just can't hold down. You just try to contain them as much as possible.
Enjoy it tonight, Marty. We appreciate you doing this, man. We'll do it again down the road.
No, it's great. I love having a Canadian team still in the tournament, and I really love that Canadian Open is around the corner, man. I play a lot of golf, and I remember where I was last year when that playoff putt went in for the first Canadian to win in a long time. So you guys enjoy it. Be well. Talk soon.
You got it. Marty Turco. Good Sault Ste. Marie boy, Marty.
Yeah. Marty's a beauty.
Beauty, man. Loves to tee it up down there.
Yeah.
He just loves to
got a good
golf
life.
for Dallas.
You know what? He was a great goaltender, too.
Yeah, he had a good run. He was on that Michigan team, too, that was unreal with Brendan Morrison and John Madden.
He had to replace Eddie the Eagle. That wasn't an easy gig.
Right. That was like 2 years after they won the Cup, too.
Yeah.
Like it was right afterwards. Yeah, he had a good run there.
He was so good handling the puck.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the –
he never gets talked about because Marty Brodeur, what he did with it, but he was right there with him.
So I think there was two things. Marty was a great puck handler, but Marty Brodeur. Marty Turco and Patrick Waugh, Patrick would rove. I swear on my life that trapezoid came in because Turco would rove out and then turn his back on the play. You can't run the goaltender. And he was such a good puck handler. Because I think that I honestly believe that trapezoid is ridiculous. It doesn't deter goaltenders that much. But it was Turco who was so good at handling the puck, and to the point where he'd rove. He'd get bored back there because those teams in Dallas gave up 16, 18 shots. Those were Hitch's teams that were so good defensively. And so Turco would be out there stick handling, making plays, curling, dragging, but he would also get to the point where he's far enough out where the guy in the forecheck would run him through the boards if he could, and he would turn his back on the play. So they created that what it was called, the trapezoid. I believe Turco was a big part of that because he roved a lot. He got bored.
Yeah, they just said we got to stop.
We got to do something to keep these guys in the net.
We want to keep them in the net. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, our best bets coming up and our Canadian Open picks.
Ooh.
All right, go time here. It is go time. We will get to that next. All right, OverDrive's PGA Picks brought to you by TaylorMade, the all-new QI irons only from TaylorMade, designed for straight distance. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.ca. All right, this is a big one, RBC Canadian Open. We're on site in Hamilton, rink hole 13. A lot of good players, good field, a lot of action. What are we doing here? 5-pack, 6-pack? Going to be Canadians all over this.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
a lot
so.
of options.
Make sure Doogie write them down.
Yes, Doogie.
Because we need to
We
hold
need this
guys.
established.
I'm taking Mackenzie Hughes at the first selection.
Wow.
You going to take Mac out of the gate?
That's a statement right there. That's a statement like Pete DeBoer did. I believe in Mac, and Mac's going to do it for me as well as Canada.
Okay. You know what I'll do? I'll counter that with, my success rate when I play a Pro-Am with somebody.
Adam Hadwin.
Adam Hadwin.
Wow.
Adam Hadwin. My understanding is he went to the PGA Tour and Golf Canada said, make sure I'm with Hayes in the Pro-Am because he knows about the history.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a 2-pack.
No, you're not doing a 2-pack. We're doing a snake.
My 2-pack.
There's no 2-pack.
I'm doing a 2-pack, and it goes a little something like this. Rory McIlroy.
Okay, you're not doing a 2-pack then if you got McIlroy.
Adam Svensson.
It's a
Canadian.
snake. So you can't
Svensson.
I know.
How do you take
All right,
Rory?
take Svensson.
All right.
But you
can't do Rory. Give him Rory then.
No, I don't need Rory. You know what I'll take? Shane Lowry. I'll take Shane Lowry. I love Shane Lowry. He loves this track. He's playing really well right now. Shane Lowry.
If I said
I need
the
a
word,
2-pack, I guess.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah, you do.
Tommy Fleetwood too.
Oh, I was going to say Sahith.
I got. I'm looking at him.
I'll take a Deuce Bigelow myself right now, and I'm going to start with. If I said the words back to back, what would that mean?
Nick Taylor?
No, you're talking
Nicky
right. No, Nick Taylor. I thought you were going to say Davis Riley. Okay, you're on Nick Taylor.
Nick Taylor,
Wow.
and I'm
Taylor.
going to take another friend of mine who I might get up in the booth tomorrow after he's done playing, Sahith Theegala.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Sahith is a good pick.
I think
Sahith is my
GD
guy.
took him to win, I think. I thought I read that this
Sahith,
morning.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's
Yeah.
a stud. I'm going to take Cameron Young who's going to win on the tour at some point.
Yeah.
And he crushes golf balls if he can putt. I mean, his putting is concerning, but if he gets hot like anyone else. Cameron Young, am I taking a 2-pack here? I guess so. I don't know how we got on the 2-pack train here.
I don't know, yeah.
Cameron Young, Akshay Bhatia.
Ooh.
It's a dirty, sneaky pick because I like to hover around that selection.
I like Bhatia. Okay. How many more picks are we doing here? What do we have so far?
I think you just take one more guy.
Right
we
now.
got 5 each?
One more guy each.
Okay,
I'll take
guy.
Taylor Pendrith.
You got a lot of Canadians.
That's
there.
right.
I only have
we
one
are
Canadian.
at the RBC Canadian Open.
I'll take Corey Connors.
There you go.
Corey Connors as my second Canadian.
Play well.
Best of luck.
Good luck.
Best of luck to everyone involved. All right. So I like where I'm at. I like my team a lot. Doogie, it's been established. Everything will be posted.
Yeah.
And again, the Overdrive PJ picks brought to you by our friends at TaylorMade, the all-new QI irons, only from TaylorMade, designed for straight distance. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.ca. So by the time we're on here tomorrow, it is go time.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a lot of guys in the clubhouse.
I'm concerned, though, about noise and horse eyes and stuff from there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned.
And there was an organist here today.
I know. The organist was playing.
Can you imagine if that guy wheeled in tomorrow and started
I think he is
slicing and dicing up the organ?
There could
He
be an
can't
organ.
do it during a tour.
I don't know if he is for sure. He's not going to be there on the weekend, is our understanding.
But if he's there tomorrow playing Lady of Spain or something like that.
I love it, man. He was playing a Tom Petty song when we were on the deck.
Free Falling?
It was something. It was like, it was something like that, like Mary Jane's Last Dance.
He had a good vibe. He had a solid vibe.
It's just
awesome.
I rolled up. Doogie was driving us up, and I'm like, there's a guy with an organ right there. And he's 10 feet from you.
Yeah.
And he's blasting away.
Well, you know what was mortifying is I didn't hit the green here.
Okay.
So he's watching. If you hit the green, you get the organ.
And
I didn't get it, and I was so rattled because I came up short. I missed the green, and the other guys in the group all threw it on.
What if
this guy?
But
was
what if he did a
absolutely
sound
crushing
effect
it.
like? Whoa,
I was worried that was
wah.
coming. If you chunk one off the deck, they should play that. But yeah, it's. I hope he's here because it'll be great. But it's not. I think the concern would be it's not only 13. It's like the 11th tee box is right there. If you're mid-swing and this guy's like dun, 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 dun.
People will go nuts. Did you see any shots
nuts.
today where the crowd was just like, not necessarily from yourself, but just like, wow, or ooh?
I saw. I'm telling you, I hit it. I hit a shank, a 7-iron on the 8T.
That got a reaction though,
like people were grabbing their chest. They're like, "Oh, that's really awful." Like I feel for that man. Why is he here? Why would he do this to himself?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was feeling it. I was 1 over through 7. Like I was really playing well. And that shot in particular, and there were other shots, but usually it's the pro. People aren't out here to see the amateurs. They don't care about us.
They really don't care
They
what
could
you
not
do.
care. They
no.
don't care. They're
You
like,
could hit the goofiest shot you've ever hit in your life, and they'd be like, move aside, pal. Give me McElroy. Where is he?
Or a great shot. And they're like, was that the pro? Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
Exactly.
Coverage of the RBC Canadian Open on TSN 1050. Brought to you by Subaru. Embrace spring weather with the Subaru All-Weather Drive event. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. So we have our picks in. When it comes to the best bets, I'm just going to go with the guys I played with today because I'm telling you about my track record, all right? I love Adam Hadwin. I would bet him outright. I would bet him top 20. You get plus money on a top 20.
All right.
And my boy Zach Blair, BYU guy, Park City, Utah, top 40 paying plus money. Plus 300 Zach
Love it.
Blair just because he was with me in the Pro-Am on the back nine. Best bets powered by FanDuel. FanDuel's goal in the first 10 minutes, the most electric bet in hockey, and can be included in a same-game parlay on any NHL game. Please play responsibly, 18+, physically located in Ontario. I'll parlay it with the Oilers tonight, too.
All right.
Get the Oilers winning this. I think that series is going 7. I feel good about the Oilers tonight. They have to have it.
Well, it's a
the
must
reason
win.
I feel good is because you got to have it.
It's got to be a must-win, yeah.
Got to have it. All right. There you go. It's been a good one today. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited. Everyone's moving in the right direction. And tomorrow it's go time. And we'll be out here, and we're looking forward to it. So thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it, as always.
Doogie, great job this week so far.
Great job, Doogie. Crushing it. Doogie's crushing it.
You've done excellent work.
And
Gatman as well.
Everybody across the
Everybody.
Gatman.
There's Doogie.
Gatman
Gets some TV
especially,
time.
though.
Gatman's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
He really has been.
Remember that van he drove around? Whatever
Yes.
that
The ice cream truck.
Yeah, the ice cream truck. That was off-putting. All right.
really was.
It was really off-putting. Thanks to everyone for
upsetting.
tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web. We appreciate that as well. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy your games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.